Well guys, Elon Musk and the executive team over at Tesla, they just reported earnings and it's so bad. The stock is crashing, or it isn't. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that stock price. We got so much to talk about. The Q3 2019 earnings for Tesla just came out. We got so much to get into today's video, okay? Now, look at the stock price once again. It's up 11.5%, up almost $30 a share. How often do you see a stock price up $30 per share after hours, okay? But I'm telling you, that is nothing, okay? Just in the course of the 20 minutes I used to prep this video, wait to see at the end of the video how much Tesla stock price was up just by the time I had finished this edit, okay? We got so much to get into. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, share this video with your mama, your dada, your papa, your grandpappy, everybody, okay? Cash, look at cash, okay? Cash is always important, okay? There's a reason Tesla puts it right at the front of their release, and the reason is all the short sellers, oh, they're gonna run out of cash, they don't have enough cash, blah, blah, blah. $383 million increase in our cash and cash equivalents. Now looking at $5.3 billion sitting around in cash. Short sellers, slow your roll. Oh, Tesla's going to run out of cash. $5.3 billion. Just read the facts, okay? $371 million in operating cash flow, less CapEx, free cash flow, unbelievable. Profitability. $261 million in GAAP operating income, 4.1% operating margin, $143 million in GAAP net income, $342 million in non-GAAP net income, and a 22.8% GAAP automotive margin. This was kind of shocking, okay? One, analysts were expecting the company to lose money in this quarter, and a good chunk of money, okay? And the fact is, Tesla just came in with a very profitable quarter, and if you remember right, on that earnings preview I did a few days ago, I was like, you know, I could picture Tesla doing a negative number, but I could also picture them having a very, very positive number. And what did Tesla come in with? A very, very positive number. And so this just caught a lot of analysts and Wall Street in general by surprise. They're like, oh, we weren't expecting this, okay? Operations, very important. Gigafactory Shanghai is ahead of schedule. Trial production has now started, okay? That is huge. Also, the Model Y is ahead of schedule. Production expected by summer 2020. I mentioned it on several videos in the past that I expected Model Y to probably get into production faster than what he was talking about. He was talking about a lot of fall 2020. I was like, I think has come in, before that. And sure enough, we're looking at summer 2020 now, okay? So things should get going faster than expected. Record vehicle production of 96,000 and deliveries of 97,000. Record storage deployment in regards to their solar business, 48% solar growth quarter over quarter. So right off the bat, if you're bullish on Tesla, you're seeing a lot of great things that are probably even better than you expected, and some of these things are even better than I expected, okay? This is a very key paragraph here. It says last year, and I assume Elon Musk wrote this, okay? It says last year, our story was about ramping the Model 3. While total volumes are expected to grow by approximately 50% in 2019, this year our focus has been cost control and preparing for our next phase of growth. This was very, very important. If Tesla's going to become, like I always talk about, my vision for Tesla is becomes a tech giant, an Apple, a Google, a Facebook, one of those type of companies. That's where I think this company is going to go over time. I think they're going to become, one of the biggest companies in the world over the next 5 or 10 years. If they want to get to that place, they have to do it in a responsible way in terms of they have to actually make money on the bottom line. They have to build up net income. They have to continue to redeploy that money to continue to build out the business over time, which is phenomenal, and that's everything they want to do. It's just you've got to get this business to a place where they're profitable. And so as Elon Musk mentions in the paragraph here, it says this year our focus has been cost control and preparing for our next phase of growth, and that's exactly what is going on, okay? Despite reductions in average selling price, ASP, of the Model 3, as global mix stabilizes, our gross margins have strengthened, okay? Wall Street loves to see a growth margin getting even better. Additionally, operating expense are at the lowest level since Model 3 production started. As a result, result, we returned to GAAP profitability in Q3 while generating positive free cash flow. This was possible by removing substantial cost from our business, okay? I love that. I love that. As an investor in this company, just loving it, okay? We have also dramatically improved the pace of execution and capital efficiencies of new production lines. Gigafactory Shanghai was built in 10 months and is ready for production. That's unreal, okay? That's absolutely unreal. While it was 65% less expensive CapEx per unit of capacity to build than our Model 3 production system in the United States. Unbelievable once again, okay? And once again, those cars will be produced for much cheaper in terms of the cost for Tesla to put those together than the ones built in the US over time, okay? Continued volume growth and cost control are an important combination for achieving sustained industry-leading profitability. Oh my gosh, I love that word, profitability. Phenomenal. Like literally, if you're a short seller out there, what are you gonna say about Tesla when this company is consistently profitable? They're like literally, okay, they're growing, they're becoming a beast, they're going into more countries, they're launching more vehicles, the solar business takes off, and all of a sudden, if they're consistently profitable, like as a short seller, you have nothing to go off of at that time, other than hoping and praying like the other big auto manufacturers just take out Tesla, which is completely a pipe dream at this stage. We've been hearing that for years, and here we are about to go into 2020, like we're what, a couple months away from 2020, and we're still yet to see anybody put up a threat against Tesla on that side. So as a short seller, this company becomes consistently profitable. You have nothing to go off of, literally nothing at that point in time, okay? Now for some financial summary around this, okay? Revenue compared to Q3 of 2018, the percentage of leased vehicles has tripled, and alone has impacted revenue by the majority of the year-over-year decrease. Model 3 mix has increased while we have taken actions leading to the reduction of the ASP of our products. These ASP reductions are particularly impacted by the launch of our standard range trims of Model 3 and pricing actions earlier this year, which was some lowering of some prices on some, basically Teslas over the last few months, okay? We are positioned to accelerate our growth further through Gigafactory Shanghai. Why do they call it Gigafactory Shanghai? I always call it the Shanghai Gigafactory, okay? They just have to switch it on me. Model Y, and also through increasing build rates on our existing production lines. These capacity increases will allow for higher total vehicle deliveries and associated revenue. We also expect to gradually release nearly $500 million of accumulated deferred revenue tied to Autopilot and full self-driving features. Very, very important paragraphs there, okay? Profitability, GAAP automotive gross margin improved by 393 basis points quarter over quarter to 22.8%. And even if you take out some regulatory credits, it still improved 366 basis points quarter over quarter. Margin was impacted in part due to fundamental improvements in our operating efficiency, including higher fixed cost absorption, reductions in manufacturing and material costs, and continued improvements in vehicle quality, and in part due to the smart summon features related to deferred revenue recognition, FX and other non-recurring items. Improved gross profit combined with a decline in operating expenses resulted in material improvement of GAAP net income. And we've talked on this channel, and I know Galileo over at Hyperchange has talked many times about what Tesla's doing as far as bringing down the cost substantially on these cars over time. And it's not just about the battery, it's about even things like wiring. And there's a lot of talk that the Model Y could use such an unbelievably low amount of wiring in that vehicle that car could be actually, SUV really, could be unbelievably profitable. And so these are things that are happening, as well as, fixing production lines, getting them, to produce vehicles even faster in a more efficient manner, as well as volumes increase, right? You have more pricing power against the material providers out there that are providing you different materials for the cars and whatnot. So you have more buying power, the more volume you have, which is obviously Tesla's, increasing volume more and more. So this is all phenomenal news across the board, okay? As far as cash, quarter end cash and cash equivalents increased to $5.3 billion driven by positive free cash flow of $371 million. Note that operating cash flows are negatively impacted by increased automotive leasing mix. Draws against our working capital facilities, including leases awaiting securitization, are included in financing cash flows. CapEx increased sequentially due to investments in Gigafactory Shanghai and Model Y preparations in Fremont. So if you don't know Model Y, at least they're trying to test out some lines and try to get it figured out on what's the best ways to do that. That's expensive to do, as well as you got the Shanghai Gigafactory, all that expense going on, which is a big expense when you're getting that up and rolling and whatnot. So Tesla's never been afraid to spend the money, and to this day they're still not afraid to spend money. Tesla's just a smarter company now about spending their money and spending against the best possibilities for the company, and not just spending money to spend money or something nowadays. Okay, now a few other very important things I saw here. Okay, we've talked a lot about production numbers and deliveries in the past, so we don't really need to go over those numbers again. But there are some statistics here that I think are very important to pay attention to. Okay, look at store in service locations. It's up 18% year over year, meaning they have more service locations. I've talked for many times before that they need more service locations, and they also need more superchargers, because if you're trying to get Tesla to this massive scale, this massive company where they're producing millions of cars a year, that means you're going to have more cars with more problems. Even with a Tesla, some things are going to go wrong, so sometimes they need service, right? And if they need service, people have to have a good experience to tell their friends, oh, we had a good experience with Tesla service. Okay, and so needless to say, you need to build out more service locations, or you need to have more mobile locations or something like that, or where the Tesla service can come to your house. You need to just have that amped up from what they're at right now. Okay, as well as superchargers. They need more and more superchargers around, so pretty much anywhere somebody goes, there's superchargers there, and you have to get that built out all around the world, which Tesla spent ridiculous amounts of money doing that over the past 5 to 7 years, and it's definitely something that will pay off long term. Okay, if you look at the mobile service fleet, they're up 90% year over year. Very, very important. That means these Tesla engineers and whatnot actually coming to your home. Okay, supercharger stations up 22% year over year. Supercharger connections up 32% year over year, and destination charging connections up 16% year over year. If you want to get the masses to really buy these vehicles, not only do you have to have longer range, but it has to be convenient so people can get to these superchargers everywhere. And I have visions for Tesla when they even have some superchargers in like McDonald's parking lots and Starbucks parking lots, and in all these popular locations that people drive to, like actually having just a few superchargers there. Like I have that vision for Tesla, and I think over time it'll get to that place. I think we're waiting for one big fast food establishment to all of a sudden have a couple, 1 or 2 superchargers per location, and all of a sudden it's going to be like everybody's going to have some superchargers in their parking lot if they want to get that business. Because if you're talking about millions of people potentially in the future driving Teslas, then they're going to want places where they can charge up their cars while they go eat a burger, or while they go have a frappuccino or something like that. So that's something a little longer term that just wait to see how that takes out. Okay, in terms of vehicle capacity here, they're talking about the Fremont. Okay, Model Y equipment installation is underway in advance of the planned launch next year, which they're talking about once again summer of 2020. We are moving faster than initially planned, using learnings and efficiencies gained from our Gigafactory Shanghai factory design. Very important there. Okay, CapEx per unit of capacity is forecasted to be about 50% lower than our current Model 3 production system in the United States. That is unbelievable. Okay, in terms of Shanghai, we are already producing full vehicles on a trial basis, from body to paint to general assembly, and I'm going to show you guys some pictures from inside the factory that were taken just within the past 48 hours or whatnot, to kind of show you guys exactly what's going on there. Our manufacturing license, and we are working toward finalizing the license and meeting other governmental requirements before we begin ramping production and delivery vehicles in China. And they've been great as far as getting all their licenses and getting through the regulation over there in Shanghai. I mean, it seems like the local government really wants to get everything done there. Let's put it that way. Okay, China is by far the largest market for mid-sized premium sedans, with Model 3 priced on par with gasoline-powered mid-sized sedans even before gas savings and other benefits. We believe China could become the biggest market for Model 3. And I've said that many times on this channel, okay? I believe there's a good chance that China in general could be become the biggest market for China over the long term, okay? I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, but if you're looking out, you're talking about 1.3 billion people living there, right? And you're talking about mass amounts of people that are going to need vehicles and mass amounts of people that are going to be in the middle class and moving up in China, and that will be able to, afford a Model 3. Or you think about autonomous taxi networks down the road, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, right? Imagine if Tesla's the main player in autonomous taxi networks in China. Imagine how many, Teslas would just be in China alone. It would be unbelievable, okay? Unbelievable. Now, in terms of Europe, very important here, we're in the final stages of our site selection process, right? We've been talking about I want a European Gigafactory, and I thought maybe that would be like a 2022 type thing, but then they're talking about it might even happen faster than that, okay? Our European Gigafactory is expected to produce both Model 3 and Model Y vehicles, okay? So if we're talking about production, they're talking about Model S and X, about 90,000 out of Fremont, if you're looking at like 2020, about 350 for the Model 3, and as far as Shanghai, about 150,000 roughly, maybe that first year, and we'll have to see how all that plays out, okay? As far as Autopilot and full self-driving, in September we launched Smart Summon in the United States, which has been used more than 1 million times to date. This functionality allows car owners to summon their cars from up to 200 feet in a parking lot or driveway. Our neural network learning approach enables us to continue to iterate and improve functionality over time. During Q3, we registered 1 accident for every 4.34 million miles driven in which drivers had Autopilot engaged. This compares to a national average of 1 accident for every 0.5 million miles based on the most recent government data, okay? That is phenomenal news, okay? That's a huge difference. 4.34 million miles or 0.5, okay? You pick which one you want there, okay? Vehicle software. In September, we released our latest and most significant vehicle software update yet, called V10. This update introduced streaming video, YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, video tutorials, Spotify, karaoke, additional games, improved search, and other functionalities. This version in our infotainment system continues to lead the industry and lays an important foundation for things to come. And as of right now, so I have a Model 3 Performance Edition, as of right now, you can only do that when the car is parked. But imagine over time when the car is doing all the driving for yourself and it's legal, I guess you can say, for the car to drive you around and you don't even have to touch anything. Over time, like people are just going to start watching Netflix and YouTube, and then eventually over time, the car will be allowed to do that. Right now you can't access that stuff if the car is driving. But I think if you're thinking about years into the future, I think eventually we'll be at a place where the car will be so good at driving you won't even have to keep an eye on it because it's just like a million times better than human would be, okay? I think that's where things are going over time, okay? Powertrain. In addition to launching longer range versions of the Model S and Model X in April, we have been able to increase the EPA range of the Model 3 Standard Range Plus from 240 miles to 250 miles, 10 extra miles, okay? We accomplished these improvements by more efficient energy use rather than a costly increase to the battery size. Extremely important. People would just thought, oh, they just increased the battery size to get those extra 10 miles. No, okay? No, this little paragraph is very, very important, okay? Our current shortest range vehicle is on parity with the longest range production EVs offered by other companies, okay? Their shortest range one is like the longest range for other companies. Long range models of each of the Model S, X, and 3 continue to have 20% to 40% higher range than other EVs available. And if you look at that chart I have circled there, okay, I mean, you could just see there's a huge difference in EPA range in miles compared to their competitors. It's really not even close, okay? Something a lot of people have been wanting me to talk about is Tesla insurance. I think that has huge long-term potential. I don't think it's going to make a material impact in the business in the short term at least, but it looks very promising, okay? In August, we launched Tesla Insurance for California customers, enabling many customers to reduce insurance costs by up to 20 to 30%. This total cost of ownership approach is an important step to make our cars more affordable. Since launching this product, we have seen strong interest from our new and existing customers in California and are working to expand insurance in additional markets. And the insurance business, I think, is a phenomenal business for Tesla to get in because they might have a huge competitive advantage advantage there. Because I mean, imagine if they know all the data that's going on in Tesla, which they do, okay? The self-driving data and how many times you drive it on self-driving mode and what are the chances you would get in an accident, all those sorts of things, right? Tesla's going to have so much more data than any other company in the world when it's talking about it's their own cars, right? So they're going to be able to undercut all the competition, and the insurance business in general is a phenomenal business to be in. I mean, Warren Buffett, one of the, a lot of people know this, one of the main reasons Warren Buffett has built one of the biggest fortunes ever in the history of mankind, even despite giving away a ton of money already, is because of his insurance business, which is named Geico. When he bought Geico, it was a very, very small business, and they just continue to expand that out, and the cash flow an insurance business produces is absolutely ridiculous, okay? And let's say you have a bad year in the insurance business, well then you can just go up on rates. But if you're looking at Tesla insurance and the cars are getting better and better at self-driving over time, that means even less and less accidents, which means you can bring down your rates even more, and the business can be even more profitable even if you're bringing down rates for customers. So it's just, it literally has a chance to be a huge home run for Tesla over the long term, okay? Now, something very, very important when they talk about outlook, okay? They're talking about vehicle deliveries. Deliveries should increase sequentially and annually. Positive quarterly free cash flow. They're talking about all these things, great profitability, but there's something very, very important here, okay? Remember, I thought about a European Gigafactory maybe in 2022. But here they're talking a little different, okay? So trial production for Model 3 in Shanghai has begun ahead of schedule. We are also ahead of schedule to produce Model Y and now expect to launch by the summer of 2020. We are planning to produce limited volumes of the Tesla Semi in 2020. We haven't heard much about the Tesla Semi lately. They're talking about in 2020 and are hoping to announce soon the location of our European Gigafactory for production in 2021, which would be ahead of what I thought. I thought, maybe 2022, it takes a while to get things, approved in Europe, and then you got to build it out and whatnot. I was thinking maybe a 2022. They're talking about 2021, which would be phenomenal news because they really need to get a Gigafactory up and running in Europe, okay? Now let's go ahead and look at some pictures. These are all going to be of the Gigafactory Shanghai factory, and these are all taken within likely the last 48 hours, okay? And right here, you're going to see the stamping press right there, that line, all right? This next picture here shows you all those unbelievable amounts of robots there in the Gigafactory Shanghai in the body shop. I mean, look at all those robots. That is just a thing of beauty, okay? This also shows you another picture of the body shop there from just a different angle, right? Then you see another picture of the body shop, and this is likely on its line to probably get painted. I'm gonna assume, these are probably, the cars have been partially put together. Now I assume they're gonna get painted. And then we go into the paint shop where basically, the cars are painted. And you look at these lines, they look unbelievable, okay? It just looks like everything is so orderly and ready to rock and roll compared to, what Tesla has done in the past. Like Tesla, if you go back to Tesla a few years ago, it was not the most orderly production of cars, let's just put it that way. And it just seems like they've made leaps and bounds since basically they ramped Model 3 and they had all those learnings there. You see here the general assembly as those cars are finishing up there. And then you can see the exterior of the Gigafactory Shanghai, which, if you've been tracking this on YouTube with some of the gentlemen that have been doing the drone videos and whatnot, it's been unbelievable to see that factory go up. And, this last picture they show here, this is unbelievable, okay? Literally 10 months, it went from just a bunch of dirt to it's production ready. They got the employees ready to go. They're ready to start actually producing these cars. That's absolutely amazing. Like a plot of dirt to actually production in less than a year. It's amazing, okay? Absolutely phenomenal stuff there. And here we're gonna see a few charts. And what you're gonna see is vehicle deliveries, phenomenal numbers, record numbers. You're gonna see operating cash flow has improved dramatically over the past 2 years. I mean, it's a massive difference. You look at those numbers they had a few years ago, it was not looking pretty. And if you were a short seller a few years ago, you definitely could have looked at those and been like, said a lot of bad things about it. It's a different story now, okay? Net income, completely different story now, okay? 3 of the last 5 quarters, positive net income compared to massive net income loss in, just going back a few years ago. So a huge, huge difference. And remember, I promised you guys I would show you what Tesla stock had done just in the matter of me prepping this video. Well, Tesla stock, as of finishing prepping this video, up 17%, up $44 a share. How many times have you ever seen a stock up $44 a share after hours? We'll see where it trades out tomorrow, but it looks like it should for sure be a double-digit day. Just question is it like a 10% 10% up day tomorrow? Is it a 15%, 20%? For a lot of us longs, that are staying in the stock for years to come in the future, even if the stock's $300 tomorrow or $270 or $290, it doesn't really matter that much for us other than, just, I guess, feeling good about ourselves or feeling like we're wealthy or something like that. Outside of that, it doesn't really mean much because, people like myself are in this stock for, their massive opportunity over the next 3, 5, 7 years. And so for the stock to be up or down $20, $30, $40, $50, it doesn't mean that much in the end, but it is definitely cool to see that, Wall Street is at least starting to respect the Tesla story, because all they've pretty much done is disrespect the Tesla story, and now they're starting to finally respect the story. So I'm thrilled with just kind of the way the business is running, where the business is going in the future, and nothing about my bullish thesis around Tesla has changed. If anything, it's just a little more positive today than it was maybe yesterday, just seeing a lot of these numbers being better than I even expected, guys. So let me know your opinion on Tesla stock down there in the comment section as always, and Elon Musk, make sure you hit a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.